I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chickens, turkeys, rats, you name it. Look! I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chickens, turkeys, rats, you name it. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chickens. Welcome everyone to your TCAA show. I am Commish Bromy. I hope everyone is having a good week so far. Probably a short week for some. I don't know. For those having to work tomorrow on the holiday of Thanksgiving, hopefully you get a little time to get a little turkey time and watch some football. So first off, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is week 12 in the TCAA. Normally, it's the last week of the season, but with the extension of week 17 now with NFL, we get one more week of football for the TCAA. So normally it's deciding who's going to be in the conference title matches this week. Instead, we get to wait one more week to find out who. But before we get into the show, and everything, I do want to kind of run it back a little on what had occurred this morning, early this morning, I guess, mid-afternoon, all that good stuff, from an email from one of the presidents that he decided to email the entire league, and I decided to respond. And there was a lot of things I was typing in response and deleted and typed and deleted and typed and deleted, trying not to be too much of a jerk, but pretty much explaining, hey, you know what, the league may not be for you. I feel like the same thing's being complained about, but the individual is just not doing their part. They haven't recruited, they haven't done walk-ons, so they're not heeding any of the advice. They always complain weeks later, to pretty much state that there's, corruption or shadiness in the league. I take that personal. So it was hard not to respond worse than how I did. But I just want to say that I put a lot of work into this league. A lot of you guys know that. So there's never any shadiness. I've done, I think, more than I need to, maybe, or definitely enough due diligence to make sure everybody knows what's going on in the league. Downloading the band app, writing the league articles where it sends an email, pretty much almost a daily reminder when we're doing recruiting or we're doing walk-ons, even preseason stuff, when we're doing roster moves and roster adjustments, all that good stuff, and finding new presidents. I feel like I do a pretty adequate job of keeping everybody informed of what's going on. So I think it's just one of those things that it's just honestly, it's probably not going to work out for this president. So it's like they'll be one and done. Is what it is. It's no hard feelings. Just don't bash the league like that. Take it personal. It wasn't called for. So, like I said, wrote a lot of stuff and had to keep deleting what I was writing, made a bunch of drafts, but cooled down a little bit. Then I sent what I sent. And I do appreciate everybody who responded back into that email. I did make sure it went to the entire league and not just to him. So I do, thank everyone who did. I appreciate everyone who did respond with their, pics and their gifts and their comments and stuff like that, because it's appreciated. I know you guys understand what I do. So with that being said, that's the end of that issue. 5 minutes in, I think that's all we need to have that issue in and discuss that from earlier today. I don't think it needs to be brought up anymore. I do a weekly show also that kind of brings up the same stuff that we're talking about or what we're doing. So that is it. Hands are off. I'm done. Whatever. League season's almost over. So is what it is for them. All right. Now let's get into really what we're doing here, right? Let's get into recapping what happened last week. We had some upsets in the rankings. So we have a new looking ranking system or new look of top 10 here. We had a surprise notice of a loss due to due to a scoring change that happened that should have been a loss for a team or for a school that ended up not being a loss during that time. So I've never seen a season like this where we have multiple scoring changes happen. And there's a possibility we're gonna have a scoring change tomorrow morning as well. When I do one of these recaps based off a school that lost by a 0.09 or something like that. So, it could just change it again. So, and if I see it in the morning, I'll mention it before, getting into all the holiday festivities and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and let's recap. Let me switch over to my other screen here so we can recap how last week went for everybody and our games of the week and everything like that. So let's start with the game of the week, an SEC matchup. You had, at that time, number 8, Vestal Tech Community College going on the road to face undefeated number 1, Allen Wrench Trade School. And in this one, Allen Wrench victorious. They are continued to be undefeated. They are now 11-0. They also was doing breakdowns, trying to figure out, what the conference title matches look like. And a lot of it still has to do with these next 2 weeks. Just because of the records. And just in general, I was trying to break it down and figure out who's in, who's out, who's got an opportunity. I was able to eliminate a few schools, but there's still so many schools, 2-1 or 3-1, 2-2, and their records overall are pretty similar as well. So it's going to come down to these last 2 weeks for sure for a lot of these conferences. But what I can tell you is this: Allen Wrench Trade School guaranteed in the spot for the SEC conference title game. Does not matter if they happen to lose their next 2 games. They have the tiebreaker over both the schools that they could end up being tied with. So Allen Wrench is secured to be in the conference title game with their record. Overall, because they're 11-0. If they were to lose, they'd be 11-2, and only one school could catch them in their conference if they were to win out, and that'd be the Mud Dogs. But they have they already have the tiebreaker on them anyway. So, congratulations, Allen Wrench. You're guaranteed to be in your conference's title game. Doesn't mean let up. We haven't had an undefeated school yet, so this could be interesting. But let's get over it. So Vestal Tech and their loss, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Patty. He's so Jekyll and Hyde right now. It's just there's something off with Kansas City. Vestal Tech. So Patrick Mahomes 4.5 points, Dalvin Cook 21 points, Josh Jacobs 7.6, Evans with 16, Deebo Samuel with 15, and Hunter Henry with 3. For Allen Wrench in their victory, had Josh Allen 18 points, A.J. Dillon with 12 points, DeAndre Swift with 21, Devontae Adams with 27, rookie Jamar Chase with 11, and then George Kittle returning still, getting his groove back with his 11 points there. So that was a victory for Allen Wrench, 138-100, keeps them undefeated at 11-0, drops Vestal Tech down to 7-4. All right, next matchup here with the ranked schools. Let's find the next one here. Not there. All right, you had number 4 Telford Tornadoes going on the road facing the Scrotum Taint Dingleberry University or Jefferson Community College Southwest. And in this one here, Telford was victorious on the road, 144-139. For Telford, he had Brady with his 23, Zeke Elliott with 9, DeAndre Swift 21, Brandon Ayuk with 18, Jalen Waddle with 18, and George Kittle with 11. For Jefferson, you had 28 from Kirk Cousins, 21 from Nick Chubb on his return from the IR. Let me tell you, that burned me in another league because they talked about, hey, you wouldn't have that many carries coming back right away because they're facing the Lions, and they're going to ease him in. let Johnson get take more of the running back RB1 role. Nope. Instead, Nick Chubb goes nuts. 21 points. Jamar Chase with 11. Deontay Johnson with 19, and Terry McLaurin with 18, and Dawson Knox with 10. His kicker getting him 0. I can't recall off the top of my head if Atlanta had a bye week or not. I don't think so. That's right. Atlanta just didn't score, if I remember correctly. So tough loss there. Kicker normally probably would have gotten him a couple of points there, maybe even that 5 points to maybe have pulled off the upset, but just wasn't in the cards for Jefferson Community College in that one. So victorious 144 to 139 was Telford, putting their record to 8-3, and then dropping Jefferson down to 3-8. Next matchup here, we had all right, next one is just massive upset. Unfortunately, we had number 6 Pukemu in this case. They were going on the road facing DBAP University, and DBAP University just demolished Duke-Mu. 0 chance at all at home. DBAP, with this score of 202, is now the 8th highest weekly point total in league history. So congratulations to DBAP. Can't think off the top of my head if this is their first school hitting the 200 mark. I don't think so this year, but I can go back and take a look. But we will talk about just the bludgeoning that he did here. So for Dukem and their loss, you had Derek Carr with 8 points, Joe Mixon with 24, CeeDee Lamb with 2, Michael Pittman with 3, Deebo Samuel with 15, Travis Kelce with 16 on that loss there. For DBAP, 38 points from Aaron Rodgers, 21 points from Christian McCaffrey. And then, let's see, I'll save the best for last. 27 from Devontae Adams, 33 from Justin Jefferson, 4 points from his tight end and Kyle Pitts. Like I said, Atlanta didn't do much. Didn't matter because he had the new beast of the league, the man trying to say, hey, Derrick Henry, who? We're talking about JT Jonathan Taylor with his 51 points. Absolutely ridiculous what he did to the Buffalo Bills defense. Just unbelievable what he's done. Pretty much the last couple of weeks in general. He has brought alive a lot of schools, a lot of, just in general, a lot of teams in fantasy football overall, but a lot of schools are now making a run at it here at the end in conference play when you're dropping out 51 points. Jonathan Taylor has just been a man beast. So congratulations there to DBAP, 202 points. Now the 8th highest total weekly points in league history. Unfortunately, drops Duke-Mu to another loss. And I'm not sure. I'd have to look back and see what it does when it comes to the conference. We could maybe take a peek at that, depending on how timing is going, just to see how some of the conference is going. But next week, after this week goes through, and we know we get into the final game of the season with conference play, I'm going to do a full rundown on what the scenarios are for everybody. I may not put it into the show here because it'll probably take a lot of time to explain, but I will post it on the app to let everybody know what it looks like. I'll put it into each conference, and I'll put it into the league. So that way the league knows how all the other conferences are doing as well and what it looks like for each of them as well. But congratulations, DBAP. Great victory. Just insane. Just insane overall. All right, now let's talk about the most likely, well, I won't say most likely, but the possible scoring change that will happen that could change the way this outcome is. This was number 9. We Sock You, or currently known as Fuck You too. They were at home going against, remember, the Titans University. The big matchup in the Big East. In this one here, remember the Titans is victorious currently 137.98 to 137.9. So a 0.08 win. Now, as we've seen, some scoring changes have really changed the way some of these outcomes have happened. So we will know tomorrow morning when the My Fantasy League updates on scoring changes if or not this holds. If it does, great, really big win for Remember the Titans. If it changes and Fogg gets the win, kind of changes a little bit of everything. So we'll know more tomorrow. See what happens. But remember the Titans in their very, very squeaked out victory. You had Justin Herbert with his 38. He had Alvin Kamara in there. 0 points for Alvin Kamara because he wasn't playing. He was out. DeAndre Swift, 21 points. Stephon Diggs with 16. Michael Pittman with 3. And Dawson Knox for 10. For Fa, he had Patrick Mahomes at 4.5. A.J. Dillon with 12. David Montgomery, 7. Justin Jefferson, 33. Deontay Johnson, 19. And Dallas Goedert with his 7.7. So once again, this can completely change in the morning. We don't know what that's going to look like. Will this stay? Will it change? We don't know. But at the moment, Fa loses, ranked number 9 to, remember, the Titans. All right, next matchup here that we had. It is keep it going. All right, here we go. We had number 2, University of Kentucky Bourbon Ballers, going on the road facing Delta Tau Chi Faber College chapter. And in this one, we had ourselves an upset. Delta Tau Chi upsets number 2 Kentucky Bourbon Ballers 132-124. For Kentucky, they had Brady with his 23, Nick Chubb with 21, DeAndre Swift with 21. He had Marquise Brown in there, late scratch, got no points there on that one. Terry, which probably would have been what cost him in this one. Terry McLaurin with 18, Travis Kelce with his 16. For Delta Tau Chi in their upset win, you had Aaron Rodgers with 38, Zeke Elliott with 9.8, Josh Jacobs with 7, Jamar Chase with 11, Adam Thielen with 18. He had no points coming from his tight end. The Rams were on a bye, I believe. He had no points coming from his defensive end. I believe he's injured. So kind of a little luck there, having 2 players out on byes or injuries, and pulls off an upset. So congratulations to Delta Tau Chi. Pulling up that upset over number 2, Delta Tau Chi at the time, ranked 36 in the league. Kentucky ranked at the time, number 2. Not the first time number 2 has lost to a very, 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 very high-seeded or low-seeded school, in this case, the worst school in league at the time. So let's see who else we've got here. We have number 10, Land Thieves at home taking on Philly U. And in this one, Land Thieves was victorious to keep their winning streak alive at 5 games straight, winning 154-108. For Philly, you had Ryan Tannehill with his 6, Austin Eckler with 38, Michael Gallup with 6, DJ Moore with 13, Michael Pittman with 3, Hunter Henry with 3. For Land Thieves, Justin Herbert with his 38, Najee Harris with 14, Keenan Allen with 15, Mike Evans with 16, Adam Thielen with 18, Travis Kelce with 16. Once again, victorious Land Thieves 154-108 over Philly U. In our next matchup that we had, the game of the week, let's call it, was number 3, Samurai Jackson University. Controversial number 3 because we found out later on that he actually did lose a week or 2 prior to South Texas. Would have probably changed the way his ranking was, but at the time he's ranked number 3. He was on the road facing number 5 Copper Mountain Community College, or Rusty Hook Landfill at this moment. And in this one, Copper was victorious 158-136, putting both schools now at 8-3. For Samurai Jackson, you had Patrick Mahomes his 4 points, Zeke Elliott with his 9, Devontae Adams with 27, Stephon Diggs with 16, Justin Jefferson with 33, George Kittle with 11. For Copper, you had 18 from Josh Allen, 21 from Christian McCaffrey. He had himself on there also, Jonathan Taylor with his 51, CeeDee Lamb with his 2, Mike Williams with 18, and then Dallas Goedert with 7. Once again, both schools now 8-3. Next matchup we had in the rankings, we had number 7, SCLSU Mud Dogs at home taking on Quack Attack. And in this one, SCLSU was able to be victorious 185-143. For Quack Attack, you had Aaron Rodgers with his 38, Zeke Elliott with his 9, Leonard Fournette with 10, Brandon Ayuk with 18, T. Higgins with 2, T.J. Hawkinson with 8. For the Mud Dogs, you had 38 from Justin Herbert, 38 from Austin Eckler, 51 from Jonathan Taylor, 2 points from Brandon Cook, 4 points from Emmanuel Sanders, and 11 points from Mark Andrews. So another school right here having that beast man known as Jonathan Taylor with his 51 points. So victorious SCLSU Mud Dogs 185-143. SCLSU is now 9-2. Quack Attack drops down to 2-9. Next matchup in the rankings. Actually, that is the last matchup of the rankings. So there is all your matchups there. speaking of rankings, let's talk about them. All right, let me flip to another screen because for whatever reason the main site is not logging that right away for me. So let me flip over to my other screen here. Let's talk about the rankings. All right, coaches poll. We have number one, no surprise, Allen Wrench Trade School got all 4 number 1 votes. Number 2, moving up, is Copper Mountain Community College. Number 3, SCLSU Mud Dogs. Number 4, Telford Tornadoes. Number 5, dropping, is University of Kentucky Bourbon Ballers. Number 6, Land Thieves. 7, dropping down, is Samurai Jackson University. Number 8, dropping, is Duke MU. Coming into the top 10 is number 9, South Texas Raiders. And then rounding out that top 10 is Vestal Tech Community College. New to the top 10 for the coaches is South Texas Raiders. Dropping out is FOCU. All right, let's take a look at how the TCS rankings are. Now, number 1, overall again, Allen Wrench Trade School had all 4 coaches poll and also was number 1 overall in the power ranking. So they got 5 number 1 votes there. Number 2, moving up to number 2 from 5 is Copper Mountain Community College. Moving up to 3 is SCLSU Mud Dogs. Had the tiebreaker over Telford Tornadoes. They both averaged 3.4, but SCLSU Mud Dogs had the better coaches poll, so they got the tiebreaker there. Telford sits at the same spot of 4. Kentucky Bourbon Ballers dropping down to 5. Samurai Jackson dropping down to 6. Land Thieves moving up to 7. Duke MU dropping down to 8. South Texas Raiders moves all the way up to 9. They were previously ranked 20. I have to say this has to do with a couple of things. One, they had that victory over Samurai Jackson University that became in there after the points change, and then they also won last week as well. So huge move up, 11 spots to the top 10 for South Texas Raiders. They're sitting at 9. And then Vestal Tech dropping down to number 10 after that loss last week. New to the rankings, South Texas Raiders, no surprise, like I said. And then once again, dropping out of the top 10 is FOCU, just like they did in the coaches poll. Kind of not a surprise there, but I guess it all depends really what will happen if there's a scoring change and how that'll result in rankings for next week, depending on how they do this week as well. All right, rounding out your overall rankings here from 11 to 15, you have Chicago Outfit Preparatory Academy. They got 2 top 10 votes, sitting at 11. 1 top 10 vote going to 12 is FOCU. Upper Sandusky is sitting at 13, moved up 5. 14, Thugonomics. 15 is Balso Hard University. From 16 down to 20, you have DBAPU, Delta Phi Gamma, Presbyterian Blue Hose, Louisiana University Knights, Crenshaw University Cougars. From 21 to 25, you got Brock State, Remember the Titans, Greenville Green Devils, Philly U, and Terry Tate's Pain Train. From 26 down to 30, you got Safe Moon Holders Institute, you got Harrison University, Grimes State, Adams College, Delta Tau Chi, and finishing it all out and rounding out the final 6 spots, you have 31 is Jefferson Community College, 32 is the Dynasty, 33 the Volunteers, 34 Gondar U, 35 is Quack Attack, and finally 36 is University of Dallas Spurs. They just can't catch a break this season. All right, let's go ahead and talk Week 12 matchups. We've got ourselves a couple of nice ranked matchups here. Make sure I got no comments real quick from anywhere. Don't see any comments. All right, so we will continue going here. All right, so wrong screen again. All right, so the week we have a huge matchup. Number 3, SCLSU Mud Dogs going on the road to face the University of Kentucky Bourbon Ballers. SCLSU is 9-2. Ballers are now 8-3. In this matchup, you've got for the Mud Dogs, Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Brandon Cooks, Emmanuel Sanders, and Mark Andrews. For the Ballers, you got Tom Brady, Nick Chubb, DeAndre Swift, Marquise Brown, Terry McLaurin, and Travis Kelce. If everything stays the same, at this moment, the Mud Dogs are currently favored 128 to 113 in this huge matchup of ranked schools. All right, next matchup here in the rankings, you have the Land Thieves at home in Switzer Field, hoping to keep their winning streak alive, 5 games, taking on the University of Dallas Spurs. Dallas has Ben Roethlisberger, Zeke Elliott, Michael Gallup, Jarvis Landry, DK Metcalf, and Eric Ebron. For the Thieves, you got Justin Herbert, Najee Harris, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, and a Brevin Jordan at tight end. First time seeing that name. He's a Houston tight end, if anybody was wondering who he is. At this moment, you have Land Thieves is favored 118 to 104. These schools have faced each other twice all time, and it's a split record of 1-1. Let me see if we have any. No, that's the first time because Ballers are a new school, so that's the first time they're facing each other there. All right, next matchup in the rankings, we have. Keep it cruising. All right, big matchup here. Number 4, Telford Tornadoes, 8-3, 6-game winning streak, going on the road to face the 8-3 Delta Fu Gamma, who have started to struggle here at the end of the season. So Delta Fu is definitely looking to get a nice little bounce back here, and they're going to struggle from the looks of it. All right, so Telford, he has Brady, James Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Cooper Kupp, Cordero Patterson, who didn't see the end zone at all last week, one of his low-scoring weeks, and then George Kittle. For Delta Fu Gamma, he's got Derek Carr, DeAndre Swift, Jamar Chase, Mecole Hardman, Jalen Waddell, and Cole Kmet. At this moment, Telford is hugely expected to win, has a 133 to 86 prediction at this moment. This is the first time that these two schools are facing each other overall in general. I mean, not in sense, I guess, the Delta Fu Gamma. I'm sure they faced Telford Tornadoes before in the past, but this new regime version of the Delta Fu Gamma, first time ever facing them in this one here. Telford is favored 133 to 86. Next matchup in the rankings, we have number 8, Pucum U at home taking on Remember the Titans University. And in this one here, like I said, Pucum U is looking to do a bounce back here after a couple of late losses so far here this past couple of weeks. For Remember the Titans, you got Justin Herbert, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman, Dawson Knox. For Dukem, you got Derek Carr, Joe Mixon, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman, Deebo Samuel, and Travis Kelce. Currently, the Titans are favored 124 to 113. And overall in this one, Dukem U has a 3-0 series all-time lead record over Remember the Titans University. All right, next matchup. You've got number 2, Copper Mountain Community College, Husty Rook Landfill, going on the road with their 4-game winning streak, taking on the 3-8 Jefferson Community College. For Copper, you got Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Williams, and Dallas Goedert. For Jefferson, you got Kirk Cousins, Nick Chubb, Jamar Chase, Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, and Dawson Knox. At the time here, Copper is favored 132-109. First time these schools are facing each other in history. All right, we have ourselves another big matchup, the other ranked matchup that we have going on here. We have number 9, Caleb Williams' daddy, South Texas Raiders, 7-4, going on the road to Suboxone Coliseum to face the undefeated 11-0 Allen Wrench Trade School, number 1. Looking for an upset here. Can the Raiders pull it off? For the Raiders, you've got Josh Allen, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Mark Andrews. For Allen Wrench, you got Josh Allen, DeAndre Swift, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, and George Kittle. At the moment here, we are Allen Wrench's favored 135 to 124. And also all-time series record, we have Allen Wrench's 2-0 against South Texas Raiders. So South Texas looking to get their first win in this matchup here between these schools, and then also looking to pull off the upset of the undefeated Allen Wrench Trade School. All right, next matchup in the rankings, you have the vacated Ball So Hard University, Yankee Magic U, going on the road to the Shaolin Dojo to face number 6, Samurai Jackson University. In this matchup, Ball So Hard has Aaron Rodgers, Zeke Elliott, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, Tyler Lockett, and Darren Waller. For Samurai, he's got Mahomes in there still, which we know Kansas City is on the bye, so you got to get him out of there. So you got Patrick Mahomes in there, so he's out. Zeke Elliott, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, and George Kittle. Currently, Ball So Hard is favored 122 to 103, but I'm sure that'll change once Samurai gets in a regular quarterback into there. And in this one, Samurai Jackson's actually 0-2 overall against the school known as Ball So Hard University. All right, next matchup. in the rankings, we have number 10, Vestal Tech Community College, going on the road facing Delta Tau Chi, favorite college chapter, looking to get themselves another upset here at the end of the season after pulling off that huge upset last week against number 2, Kentucky. For Vestal Tech, you got Ryan Tannehill, Dalvin Cook, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Debo Samuel, Hunter Henry. For Delta Tau Chi, you got Aaron Rodgers, Zeke Elliott, Josh Jacobs, Jamar Chase, Adam Thielen, Tyler Higbee. At the time, Vestal Tech is favored 117 to 115. All right, next one, and that's it. That is all the matchups in the rankings. Did I did get everybody. All right, so there's your matchups there. Remember, we've got 3 games tomorrow. Tomorrow's Turkey Day. We have, I don't remember who's playing yet. I have no idea yet. I just know you're always going to get Dallas. You're always going to get Detroit, and I can't think of who the night game is, but I'm sure it's the Saints. They always seem to be playing on Thursday night. So make sure you get your rosters ready. Like I said, we got 3 games going tomorrow. Then we got the rest of them going on Sunday. Final non-conference game this week. Next week, conference matchups. The final one. A lot of it's going to be determining who is going to be facing who in their conference title matchup. So it's going to be an exciting week 13. But week 12 is really going to also help decide who it is, because that tiebreaker after your conference title, your conference record, is your overall record. So you got to have a good overall record to continue up that matchup there. So that's everything. You got your rankings, you got your matchups. We talked about the earlier matter that we had in there, but hopefully that resolves that. Once again, if you guys have any questions, you know who to ask, how to reach me. Several different platforms. Some have my cell phone, text me, whatever, I don't care. But hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. If you have any questions, reach out. Other than that, catch y'all later. Have a good one.